If ever there were a perfect time to talk about hauntology in connection with poetry, this might be it. But I'm not going to do that. Welcome to Strip Coverlet, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we are here for another poetry discussion, which will appear, of course, in the poetry discussion playlist here on the channel. Today's poem is Piano by D.H. Lawrence, and it reads as such. Softly in the dusk, a woman is singing to me, taking me back down the vista of years, till I see a child sitting under the piano in the boom of the tingling strings, and pressing the small poised feet of a mother who smiles as she sings. In spite of myself, the insidious mastery of song betrays me back, till the heart of me weeps to belong to the old Sunday evenings at home, with winter outside. The hymns in the cozy parlor, the tinkling piano, our guide. So now it is vain for the singer to burst into clamor with the great black piano appassionato. The glamour of childish days is upon me. My manhood is cast down in the flood of remembrance. I weep like a child for the past. So I think that this is a very smooth, almost sneaky poem. So perhaps to go through it step by step is necessary to really conjure up the talking point that I think is worth having here. Softly in the dusk, a woman is singing to me, taking me back down the vista of years till I see a child sitting under the piano in the boom of the tingling strings, and pressing the small poised feet of a mother who smiles as she sings. Our speaker hears a song that makes him nostalgic, and he finds the woman singing, and she is aided by her small son. In spite of myself, the insidious mastery of song betrays me back, till the heart of me weeps to belong to the old Sunday evenings at home, with winter outside, the hymns, and hymns in the cozy parlor, the tinkling piano our guide. The music overtakes him, and he is sent back to when he was that little boy listening to the hymns at home. So now it is vain for the singer to burst into clamor with the great black piano appassionato. The glamour of childish days is upon me. My manhood is cast down in the flood of remembrance. I weep like a child for the past. Here, our speaker is questioning his entire adult life. Is this all that my life has led to? And if so, I have nostalgia for the past. But why have nostalgia for your childhood? It is here my manhood is cast down in the flood of remembrance. To have nostalgia for childhood is almost assuredly to believe one has ruined or wasted, thrown away, discarded their adulthood. Now, obviously, moments of nostalgia can be one thing, but to be overtaken by nostalgia, to have your manhood down in the flood of, cast down in the flood of remembrance, and weep like a child for the past. This is not simple nostalgia, the simple nostalgia of catching your childhood favorite cartoon on the television on a Saturday morning. That is not the same thing. Does this happen to you? In the middle of the day, you're perhaps driving to work, driving home from work, you are at work, you are doing some menial task, brushing your teeth, fixing dinner, taking out the trash, and you realize nothing that you had set out to do was getting done. Nothing that you had wanted for your life was there. Now, what is it here that invokes this feeling in our speaker? If we are to take context clues from the poem, there are three things really. A woman, not my woman, not my mother, not my wife, not my sister, a woman, a child, and where is it here? Hymns. So, these three things could be inciting moments for deep reflection, not being in a relationship, or not the one you want, not having a child, or if you do have a child, feeling as if you have raised your child poorly. And hymns being the invocation to God. If one does not feel they are living up to whatever God it is that they worship, that could invoke this type of frenetic response that we get from our speaker here. Oftentimes, I think these moments in our world today I think that they happen in passive times, passive moments. But I think that it's hard to do that in poetry. I think one of the things that poetry does very well is poetry takes a real world phenomenon, a universal type phenomenon, something which is ubiquitous across what it means to be human, like this moment of realizing maybe I have wasted my life, and saying, hey, what are we doing with this thing? What have we got here? This moment of wasting your life. What if we take that from some random time where you are in highway hypnosis on your way to work in the morning, wondering, did I forget to brush my teeth? You take this from that moment, I've wasted my one chance on this globe, and you put it smack dab in front of what it might be to have that thing that you want. So, our speaker here finds himself looking at a woman that is able to take him places emotionally. So, there's something attractive to him about this woman. There's a child, her child, right there as well. And you have God. So I think that to translate the idea of God to meaning is understandable, right? You have this individual questioning meaning, relationships, and the future. That's what a child would represent here. Instead of this realization taking our speaker at some random moment during the day, as it normally is, because that's when your mind works against you, when you have nothing else on which to concentrate, and putting it smack dab in front of those things which might be missing in the speaker's life, we allow the reader, his or herself, into that speaker's world. We allow the reader, his or herself, we don't allow, we force the reader, his or herself, to examine their own status in a relationship, to examine their own prospects of a future. Is that children? Is that your work? What is it for you to survive into the next generation? We force our speaker to contemplate meaning / God in his or her life. That is the sneaky complexity of a poem so smooth as this. That is all I have for this poetry discussion. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. There's poetry every Monday, and I hope to have you back for the next one.